tweet. Like,
This meeting is being recorded.
um, yeah,
I apologize for that.
no, it's okay. I sell trees, and I'm new to the business. I had an LLC, seller's permit, and everything for a business that I no longer am in. But my my goal with this one is basically the same. It's just to be online and have made to order orders only. I do plan on doing pop ups. I do plan on selling in stores, but mostly I would like to handle my business online.
Thank you for sharing that. And that's a great point. Selling online and then also doing pre-orders. I don't know how many of you do pre-orders, but just for example, there is a food truck. I don't know if she's in LA right now, but I believe she's called the Black Rican Vegan. And from what I understand, she only does pre-orders. So one day she pulls her truck up into Lemert, and we had not seen her before, did not know who she was, but her line was literally down the block, and people were coming up to us asking, where is her truck? And we're like, wow, what's her secret to having all of these, to having such a great following? And basically that's all that she does is she only takes pre-orders. She takes her pre-orders through Instagram, and you can find her page on Instagram. I'll send it to everyone later, but she just has this following. They order their food, they know where to show up, and she's on a food truck, but all she's doing on the day of is she's just handing out the orders to the people that have already paid in advance, which is a huge thing because she's already made her money before she even pulls up. So those are also other alternatives that we'll share that people may want to incorporate in their business, just depending on what they decide their business model to be. Next, we have Latonya Ward.
I got on late, so I don't really know exactly what we're doing.
We're just introducing ourselves, just basically what kind of business we have, how long we've been in business, and some people are sharing like what their future goals are if they want to be in a brick and mortar, be on a food truck, or stay as pop-up vendors.
Yeah, so I started in Lemert in 2014. I am the owner of Filthy Rich Banana Pudding. I sell different flavors of banana pudding. And yeah, I started in 2014 in Lemert and just kind of like dibbled and dabbled in it. And then I started full time in 2019 because I do social justice work and I just do consulting work, and that doesn't always pay well. So I took this on full time to just to keep myself in the game. And it kind of like exploded because in 2019 I had organized the Nipsey Peace March, and I just kind of funneled all my customers or all my followers from having done that over to the banana pudding. And I never really learned about, like we're talking about on here, the back office stuff. I was literally and have literally just been selling banana pudding like I'm selling drugs, no EIN, no nothing. So yeah, so I'm just learning as I go. I have systems and operations in my head and not in front of me. So, and the part about the taking pre-orders, that's exactly what I want to do. I just want to figure out, because it's hard for me by myself with no team to meet the demand that I have. I want to learn how to have it sell minus all this much of my time. So I want to learn how to take and set up for pre-orders. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm getting my nails done. I know I sound a little bit retarded right now, but yeah, so I want to learn how to do that, take the pre-orders, work my social media sites better to, begin to funnel my customers over into that lane versus me having to sit outside for hours and sell. And I also want to learn how to build and develop a team because again, I want my physical person to not have to be there to do this. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you for that. And you touched on some key pieces that factor into the purpose of this of these sessions, because having systems and processes in your head, we're hoping to help everyone get those systems and processes put down on paper. Like when you start working, if anyone's ever worked fast food, when you start working fast food, there's a training manual that you get. This is how you turn on the fryer. This is how long you cook the fries for. This is how you wrap the burgers. This is what goes on the burgers. So when you're able to get all of your standard operating procedures down into like a training manual, then that enables you to start building your team, because now you can tell your team exactly, you know, what you want them to do and how to do it to protect the quality of your brand. Because we can get people to help us, but if we don't train them properly, if we don't set the right expectations for them, and they just kind of do it whatever way they think is going to work, it may not be the same as what you have planned for your business. And I think oftentimes when we're passionate about what we do, we put a certain level of quality and excellence in it. And the way that we translate that quality and that excellence is by having those standard operating procedures written down. There was actually a big social media discussion about Chick-fil-A. I don't know how many people eat Chick-fil-A, but when you go to Chick-fil-A, your customer service experience is always good. It's like they have Chick-fil-A University, and they teach the young people who work for them great customer service skills, great follow-up skills, great listening skills. So those are the kind of concepts that we want you to be able to incorporate into your business. And that'll help you, again, protect your brand while being able to grow your business. We have 2, maybe 3 people who still haven't introduced themselves. I'm just going to say their names because I don't know why this order keeps changing. I guess if someone comes on mute and goes off of mute. But we have Marche, Janelle, and I think Ebony. Is there anybody that I missed?
Yeah, Shaka from Dippity Donuts.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, Shaka. So if we can go in that order, and I hope I'm saying it right, Mache, Rose, Janelle, Ebony, and then Shaka. And then you guys could just unmute and jump on when one person finishes speaking. Okay. Am I saying that right? The last name is Rose? Forgive me if I'm butchering your first name. Okay, maybe she's not able to come off of mute right now. Janelle, are you available to do your introduction?
Hello, Janelle Brooks Petty, owner of All Chill Hip Hop Ice Cream Shop in Leimert Park. We have the shop, which is under construction. Very excited because we're moving along a little faster than I thought we would on that. We also do ice cream events, meaning scoop service, tastings, and ice cream making classes as science project or team building activity. And we are actually now working on a second shop.
Oh, congratulations.
Which is kind of awesome and overwhelming all at once. That's something that obviously I want to do, is grow the number of shops that we have. But our original concept was not just to be an ice cream shop, but to be a cultural institution that celebrates hip hop culture. And so that's something that when our shop is completed, we'll be able to really dig into as far as hosting events that are discussions and performances and other types of exhibits with the collection that we have of memorabilia and rare photos and artifacts related to the culture. And being that it's almost 50 years old, there's so many ways to kind of get into that cultural institution part. and then have our merchandise piece for our shop, and then sharing space with other vendors that, like we have done in the shop, to create an opportunity for them to grow through our audience. And that's us in a nutshell.
Thank you. Thank you. And I like how you touched on the cultural piece, because I think for some of the vendors, the cultural piece is significant. Like if you're doing Jamaican food, if you're doing Belizean food. So how do you tie the cultural piece into the marketing? Does it benefit your product and your brand when you tie your cultural piece into the marketing? So when we get into the marketing section, we can talk about that as well. And for the marketing piece, we have a special instructor coming on. Her name is Arnetta Mack, and she owns a marketing and branding company. So she'll have a lot of great information to be able to share with us about, what does our brand represent? How does it reflect who we are, and what does it do to draw people into us, into our businesses?
Two things, strangely enough, my husband, who is my business partner, and I met in business school. So that's been a benefit to building this business. But the two things that I have found to be very helpful with us growing even, faster than I thought we would is acknowledging that there are two things that you're marketing: your actual product, and then the person or personality that's behind the product. And so being aware of those two pieces and how your natural inclinations allow that to benefit your business. I don't mind talking to people. I'm very chatty. And so that has been good for us, for people to kind of really understand what we're trying to do. And then, seeing my husband, seeing my children in the shop has been helped people, I think, connect to us. Even though I live in the neighborhood, I've been here for 4 generations, you kind of get in your bubble. And then actually caring about the product and trying to deliver something that is good, that people like and want to come back and have. So just a note on marketing, the actual product, and then the people behind the product being, I think, important to how people will connect to your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. And I'm also a real estate broker, and that is a huge shift that the real estate industry made, is when real estate agents started putting their pictures on everything. There are certain other industries where they do it, but for our particular industry that we're talking about, vending, especially food vending, I think that would be a great benefit, is when you have your printed materials, excuse me, then, finding a way to incorporate your picture into your materials, because then when you're walking through your community, oh, there's Marcel, she's the jerk chicken lady. There's Nakia, she's got, the vegan chili. When I walk through certain places, and when I was doing real estate, I literally walked into a party and there was a guy there. He's like, hey, that's my real estate lady. So it goes a long way. Like she's saying, being able to connect your product with who you are. I think we have one more person. Shaka, do you want to jump in and introduce yourself?
Yes, so sorry. I need to close the door to the office. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shaka Stewart. I'm the owner of Dippity Donuts. We've only been popping up for about a year now. We're looking to eventually move into the mall. Hopefully we'll be moving to Fox Hills Westfield in October to hold a 3-month leasing space there. But in the interim, we still will be doing pop-ups. We do pop-ups a little bit of everywhere. We've done Foodie Land, 626, Black on the Block. We've done a host of different events, and that's what we're here for, just to do pop-ups. We do have a plan eventually, maybe for a donut truck, but right now our focus is strictly just doing pop-ups as well as private events.
Okay, thank you for that. And you mentioned the mall with the 3-month lease, and you mentioned Fox Hills Westfield. For people who don't know, the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall is also offering what they call specialty leasing programs, where you can do a short-term lease on a kiosk or even a space. So if you go to the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall website and look under, I think that's exactly what it's titled, specialty leasing, then you can find out. Something like that for pop-up vendors might be a good thing to start looking into now, because one drawback about doing open air events is that when it's cold or it's raining, what happens to your business then? So finding alternatives like short-term leasing in indoor locations, as someone mentioned before, doing the online ordering and just doing pickups and drop-offs. Nakia is actually in a commercial kitchen, and she has, I think on Wednesdays and Thursdays, munchie nights where she just does DoorDash. So all of those options are other things that we'll explore in this class too. How do you keep your business running when it's cold or it's raining or something else prevents you from popping up? And I'm not a food vendor, and I always tell people I don't even cook. So there's a lot of different situations that food vendors may experience, but in my look from the outside looking in, you guys are almost like professional athletes, because you depend on your bodies to make your business run. So if I broke my leg, I could still sit at home in my computer and still run my business. If you were to break your leg, then what happens to your business? Who's there to, fill in for you? What alternatives do you use to keep your business going if you're physically unable? So that's another thing that we'll discuss in our series as we're going forward. And then there's one person who didn't get to go, that's Ebony. So we'll turn it over to Ebony now so she can do her introduction.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So I am here to really learn everything. My company is called the Wellness Queendom, and I juice for wellness. So if people are going through mind, body, spiritual needs, that's what I formulate my juices to help with. And then I also, I have my undergraduate and graduate degree in counseling and psychology. So I also provide therapy and wellness services with the spiritual aspect to women. And I'm now just opening up to men as well. But I am here to get all of my permits. I love the conversation already, because there's so much information that I'm gleaning to already. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to learn and grow.
Thank you. And we're glad you're here as well. For everyone, as we do our introductions, hopefully people are making notes, and then we'll make a directory to share for those who are willing to have their information shared. But again, this is a cohort of women. So in addition to building, what we're talking about for the market and vending and for your business, hopefully this is a safe space to be able to create sisterhood, where, again, we can get information from each other. We can start some partnerships and some relationships, because how great would it be to have Dippity Donuts do a pop-up in All Chill Inc. with ice cream, because who doesn't love donuts and ice cream together? Jamaican food and juices, or how do we partner so that we bring value not only to our businesses but to other businesses as well. So now that we've done the introductions, if anyone has any questions, then we'll open the floor for questions, and then we'll start in on I wanted to share some information with everyone today. So do we have any questions before we switch reels?
Yes, I have a quick question. So I am planning on attending the pop-up tomorrow night. Is there any type of directions, or what exactly should I be looking for, preparing for when I get there?
Okay, so this will be our second market, and kind of like our our first big market. Last week when we did the market, we had 3 vendors, and we are really grateful for the 3 vendors that were able to show up. The rest of our vendors were, or a lot of our vendors were in Sacramento lobbying for SB 972, which passed. So congratulations and thank you to all the vendors who went. Tomorrow night's market, it's a, just like your standard pop-up market, bring your canopy and all of your equipment and things that you would normally do for a pop-up. We've been doing some marketing and some promotion. We don't know what the turnout is going to be tomorrow, so I wouldn't bring maybe the same amount of food or product that I'd be bringing for like Sunday in Lemert, or if you're doing another pop-up event. One of the goals of these first couple of markets is Asia Beard, the restaurant consultant. She comes out, and she was able to do this last week with the 3 women who were there, and maybe they can share some insights, like some of the conversations she had with them. But Asia went through and she kind of watched them set up and kind of gave guidance and suggestions on, what was needed. None of our 3 food vendors had tarps last week. That is a thing that the health department requires. So that's something that we'll work on, everyone bringing a tarp. Maybe that'll be something that we can look for a donation for, where we can get tarps for everyone. Tika, Latonya, and Nakia, do you guys want to share any of the things that Asia discussed with you last week when she was watching you and helping you set up your booths?
I guess I'll go first. Last week I kind of spazzed out because I did a market earlier in the day, so I didn't bring more labels. And so that was one of the things that we had discussed, was just labeling up the products so that way I could brand out a little bit more, by having my products labeled. But I have a question. You said we didn't have a tarp. What are you talking about? You mean the sides? You mean like the
No,
sides?
That's different than the tarp. So what the tarp is just literally a tarp, like the blue tarps you see people have on their roofs or whatever. They sell them at like Home Depot, Walmart, AJ, wholesale supplies and things like that. But the health department requires, anytime you're popping up on like grass or asphalt, you're supposed to have a covering over whatever you're set up on. So you're supposed to have a 10 by 10 tarp, and then you put the tarp down first, and then you pop up your booth. So it creates kind of like a flooring for the inside of your booth. Number one, it protects, it's like a health and safety issue. You do baked goods, so it may not necessarily apply to you, but for someone who's preparing on site, it protects the ground or the grass from grease and food spills and different things like that. So okay, everyone is supposed to have a tarp.
Okay, I'm like, what? I'm like, wait, I haven't heard that yet. So I'm like, wait a minute, okay. But in terms of Asia, though, for me, my critiquing was just basically just making sure I label up all my products, and that was about it.
I was just going to mention something really quickly, Jen, about the tarps. It's only for people who are doing prepared food. So if you're doing prepackaged goods like Nakia, well, I think Nakia does prepared food now too, but if it's prepackaged, like something that you made in a kitchen outside of the site where you're popping up, and everything is packaged and labeled, then you don't have to have a tarp. But like you were saying, if you're actually preparing food on site, then yes, that you would be required to have a tarp. But it doesn't apply to like people selling jewelry or like sea moss or apparel and stuff like that.
Yeah. So prepackaged foods, depending on some events, some big events like Juneteenth, I had to have a tarp even though I'm prepackaged.
So what we'll do is, because like you're saying, Tanya, there is different events and different organizers require different things. What I will do is to send out the guide from the department, the LA County Department of Health. That's what we're going to be gearing our training to. So I'll send that out to everyone, and it's probably like I don't know, maybe 15, 20 pages or so, but it's written like a book, and it breaks down everything that you're supposed to have as a temporary food facility, as far as who needs a hand wash station, who needs a tarp, what kind of hand wash station is acceptable. So I'll send all of those out to your emails as a follow-up to today's session. And did we have any other, Nakia, did you want to comment on what it was like working with Asia last week?
Sure. Asia, she came over and she looked over I have menus, and there's a couple of typos on the menu. And so she mentioned that. I told her that I had already caught them in the next round. They would be corrected. And then also my trash can, I hadn't brought it out the car, so she mentioned my trash can, so I went and got that out the car. Did I tell you anything else that she said, Jen? Do you remember?
I think she, just from an not from like a health and safety point of view, but just from like an aesthetics view, I think she was saying that maybe having a different, I don't know if it was a font or more space, but like on your menu board, having the items listed, having them listed in a way that's a little easier for the clients to kind of see, you know, what you're offering. Okay. So those are the kind of things that Asia does. She's a professional restaurant consultant. If you've ever seen one of those TV shows like Bar Rescue, where they have somebody come in and evaluate all the things that you could change or scale up to help your business grow, that's exactly what Asia is going to be doing for us. She's really, really a nice lady. She really, really knows her stuff. So I'm excited, and I'm not even a food vendor, but I'm excited.
And she supported from every vendor, so that was really nice too.
Mm-hmm. She purchased something from every vendor that was there.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
My question is regarding the tarp. So I have a tarp. I put the tarp down. Water gets caught on the tarp, becomes a slippery hazard for the staff behind the booth. Put non-slip boots on or non-slip shoes on, can't stop the slip. It's so much water because I'm shaving ice. The ice falls on the ground, it melts. So I was contemplating purchasing a what is it? The grass, the fake grass. What is that called? Turf. I was gonna buy a strip of turf, but I'm asking a question because you just said that if you work on grass, you have to put a tarp down on the grass. So it becomes more dangerous to have the tarp down in my booth.
So what you would have to do, Lonnie,
like a slip hazard, even with non-slip, because I own non-slip shoes.
This is with Voodoo Vegan. I fry stuff when I was in my tent, and I had the same problem with like oil being on the tarp and plastic and slipping. And what we did was we went to Restaurant Depot, and they sell like these rubber mats that you can put on top of the tarp. And those are like,
and the rubber mat doesn't slip.
No, it's a non-slip mat. Yeah, it doesn't slip. It's a rubber mat.
I know in a professional kitchen, those are the rubber mats with the holes in them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So I could try that. Can I put that on top of turf instead of a tarp?
No, because you still have to have a tarp to cover the ground. So a lot of people
have to cover the entire 10 by 10, or it just has to cover the area where we're working in the back.
The area where you're working, I believe, but I just buy like one that's like, I want to say it's like 7 by 10 from Home Depot. Mm-hmm. And it covers like everything except for where the table is in the front, because the table's like 2-3 feet wide. So
okay. The reason I asked for the whole 10 by 10 or not is because no, he's fine. The reason I asked for that is if it has to cover the entire 10 by 10 is because my tent goes inward as a U shape. My tent goes like 3 tables, and the customers walk in. So I wouldn't want them walking in on top of tarp if I didn't have to have that. But okay, cool. So if it's just behind the portion where we're working, then that'll be that I can do. I can grab that rubber mat. I'm sure I can grab that from the restaurant next door.
Out of curiosity, is your stuff all prepackaged?
No, we're shave ice. We crush ice on site.
Oh, okay. Because I think that
they make their own flavors, so they pour the syrup after I give them the ice.
Right. So I think like health department wise, that's not allowed. But I don't know. Jen would know better than me. But from what my experience in doing festivals,
that's not allowed.
Okay, here can we
customers.
Oh, so here's the thing. We're going to have the health inspector come out, and we're going to have the health inspector address things that are exceptions to the norm. So like the way she has her booth set up, then we'll have the health inspector, you know, say if that is okay or not. Oh, you weren't, okay. You weren't at Juneteenth. I was going to say, did they say anything about your setup at Juneteenth, but you were at another event. So we'll have the health inspector address things like that. We've asked the county if we could have a health inspector come out to one of the actual markets and also to one of the Zoom sessions to be able to answer questions like that. So as soon as we get confirmation that the health inspector can come, then we'll be able to let everyone know. So we're coming up on an hour. What I wanted to do quickly before we end is I wanted to share just some ways to be able to promote your business and to grow your business that's either low cost or no cost. And I want to encourage everyone to start doing this because since you're pop-up vendors, like you can build a following and they will come to different local events to support you. And also people like going to new events. So there are a couple of vendors that I've seen online, and what they do is they print out a calendar for like the whole month. There's even one who does it quarterly, and it just gives a list of all the events and where they're going to be. So then their followers know where to find them. So let me share my screen really quick. And as always, I'll put all of these links on the blackwomenvend.com website so that you can always find them. So can you see my screen? Can someone let me know? Yeah, okay.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so the first thing is, of course, your Instagram. If you don't currently have an Instagram page, we're really, really encouraging you to set up an Instagram page. It's free. It's pretty simple to set up, and you get followers who will want to stay in contact with you via Instagram. You can schedule your post and your story. So for a lot of vendors, having time to do things is always a consideration. With Instagram and Facebook, you can pre-schedule posts up to a month in advance. The other thing with the Instagram is this is the Leimert Park Village Vendors page. This is a page that I've been running with the help of Lonnie and Marcel and Nakia, other people from Leimert Park. We share a lot of information here specifically for vendors, whether you're in Leimert Park or not. So for example, this is Marcel in Sacramento supporting the food bill. This is a picture of Tika from the market last week. And we have Tanya at Filthy Rich Banana Pudding and Nakia. So we have all of that here. We're announcing the night market here. So with your Instagram page, and I'm sure most people probably already have one and are familiar, you can put a lot of information up here. This page right here is just for sharing information, but there is a way that you can attach a store to your Instagram so people can purchase your products online or do pre-orders from Instagram. Again, when we have Arnetta, who's the marketing person, she can speak a little more on, the best ways to use your social media page. And then also for people who don't have social media skills, we will put on the website YouTube videos that tell you how to set up your Instagram page. And then we'll also put up resources. The city of LA has some free digital resources for vendors. I think the only requirement is that you can show you've been in business before COVID started. So Instagram is one. Let me go over here to Spicy Green Book. A lot of people are familiar with Spicy Green Book. Spicy Green Book is a directory of Black-owned businesses all throughout the US. You can register to be on Spicy Green Book for free. And what happens is when you are visiting someplace, or let's say a tourist is looking for a Black-owned business to support, if you've registered, then the results for those businesses in that particular zip code come up. So again, it's free to register for this. Spicy Green Book also does events, and they invite vendors to participate in the events. Lonnie and Marcel have done Spicy Green Book before. Do you know how often they do their events? Is it once a month or once a quarter?
As of now, it's once a year.
Once a year?
Yes, annual. Danilo is talking about doing a second event in the year, but as of right now, he's only doing it once a year.
Well, no, his next event is November 17th. They do it.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. So then he's starting to do it twice a year, then this year.
And they're accepting applications all the way until September 30th from the vendors. So if you want to apply, now is the time.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick question? If you're not a physical location on sites like that, how do you, as far as the address is concerned and, you know, the area of where you are, how does that work?
You would use your city and zip code where you live, or you can use the location in the area where you normally set up as most. For me, when I did my permitting, I did my home address as my business location, because the state has to have a hard address. But when I'm promoting, I promote online at 000 random street, and then I put the city and the zip code. So I'll say Leimert Park, or I'll say West LA, or I'll say Rancho Cucamonga, 91730.
Okay, thank you.
And then, okay, so that's for the Spicy Green Book, and we're talking to Danilo actually to see if he will work with us on the Black Women Vend market, because he's set up as a nonprofit. And from what I understand, when you're doing his events, he has a professional photographer come out and photograph your setup. And then they, is that correct, Lonnie, or did he come out separately and photograph your business?
What is it called? They pay a freelance photographer to come out. So they coordinate your time with the photographer's time.
And they give you
at your next location, or whatever location is best for you.
And they give you a set of professional photos to use in your marketing. The only thing that they ask is that you credit the photographer and you tag them. So that's huge, because having a professional photographer come out, that can run you a couple of $100s. So we're, talking to him to see if how we can coordinate to bring the best benefit to you all as vendors. The other marketing tool that's free, they do have a professional version, but it's free, is to set up an Eventbrite. And you can set up an account for free, and then you post where your events are going to be. Now, here's the great thing that I like about Eventbrite is when people sign up to purchase tickets, they have to give an email address. So this is a great way for you to be able to start building your email list. Let's see. So that when you're going to be somewhere, or if you're having a special sale, or you're doing something to promote your business, you don't just have to post it on social media and wait for people to respond, but now you have a specific list of people that you can email out to. And so that's eventbrite.com. And of course, they always have an upgrade level. So if you create an event and then you want to boost it or lift it, then you can pay a fee to have it sent out and different things like that. But the basic Eventbrite is free. The next way, let's see, Nextdoor. The next way you can promote your business for free is to sign up for an account with Nextdoor.com. Now, Nextdoor.com, they limit you to basically your general geographic area. So, for example, I signed up under Leimert Park, Cherrywood, but let's say you lived in Inglewood. You would sign up for the Inglewood area, because they verify by sending you a postcard to the address that you use to register with, the postcard has a verification code on it, and then you input that verification code. But even if you're popping up all over, let's say you live in Inglewood, advertising to your neighbors and to your surrounding community, people, it's still local. People will come out to support you. If, let's say, you're selling, you know, vegan food, there aren't a whole lot of vegan food, to my knowledge, vegan food restaurants in Inglewood. So if you live in Inglewood and you're advertising to the Inglewood area, then you may get some people that will come over to Leimert Park to support you just because they want vegan food that's close. And also, again, this is the basic sign up is free, but there's always an option to pay to do a post as a business. There's always an option to boost your post and things like that. But again, you can start for free. Then the last thing that I wanted to share is Facebook. A lot of people don't use Facebook. My granddaughter told me Facebook is for old people, so I don't know. But the great thing about Facebook is that you can attach your Facebook account to your Instagram account. Everything that you post on Instagram will automatically post on your Facebook. But you have to create a business page in addition to your personal Facebook account. You create a business page, and then I'm sorry, it's letting someone in. And then you can create campaigns. And again, the same thing with Instagram. You can pre-schedule your campaign for 30 days out in advance. When you go to the Facebook business page, it gives you insights and trends. So this is my legal assistant page, not the vendor page. I've kind of been neglecting my pages, but it's telling me that in the last 28 days, I reached 8.9 thousand people, which is up 3% from the month before. But on my Facebook page, I haven't really done anything. So I only reached 72 people, and that's down 29%. They tell you how many people, you know, like your post. It gives you a lot of good data and metrics to kind of understand what's working and what's not working. Because a lot of times we can spend a lot of, I'm sorry, does someone have a question?
Yeah, not to cut you off, but I don't have time for all of that. So are you guys gonna give any resources of people who do like social media management and managing those different accounts and marketing?
Yes, we are. We'll definitely give resources. And then we're talking to Vermont Slauson Economic Development. Vermont Slauson just opened a whole teen technology center where they're training young people in the community. It's like on Western and 61st. They're training young people in the community to be able to do this. So for example, a lot of the marketing that was done for Hot and Cool Cafe over the past year was done by the teenagers from this teen tech cohort that they have. So I'm just sharing the info for people who do have time. Honestly, I don't have time for this. So I will pay my 12-year-old granddaughter to do it. We're looking to see how we can get interns and different things like that. But I would encourage everyone to at least set up the page. Even if you don't have time to do all of this stuff, at least set up the page so you have some kind of website presence. And then,
can I jump in really fast? I think this is something that you have to make the time to do if it fuels your business. It's not a convenient thing, and there are ways to make it more efficient, but the whole point of all of this is to increase the number of people who subscribe to your business. So taking that time, if it's one time where you just set it all up, you just like make yourself an appointment with yourself to set it all up, gives you one more point that people can contact you. And then as far as social media stuff goes, there are ways that you can hit all of them with one post. Things like Hootsuite, where you can attach 3 or 4 different accounts and you can put your content and schedule it so that it isn't this time-consuming thing that you're having to maintain. And even if you set it all up and have someone else set it all up. It's I will say that the reason why we were able to be planning a second, and I hope in the next 2 weeks can figure out a third location within a year, is because people could connect to us when we're sleeping through the internet. Like we put some stuff up and
on Hoopsuite though, because I don't like to have too many different ways that people are contacting me, because I don't have a team yet. And even if and when I do, I still don't want a lot of ways that, like, I don't want to have to go to my Instagram and my phone and my this and my that. So on Hoopsuite, is it one space up or one message box that all the messages from the different social media sites I put on there?
I have everything forward to the email.
Yeah, you can have everything forwarded to your email, or you can choose to have everything forwarded to, or you can even set up an auto response. So if I reach out to your business on Facebook and someone else reaches out to your business on TikTok and someone else reaches out to your business on Twitter, we all get the same message to contact us, to book with us, to place an order. Please call us at, or please reach us at, or it'll automatically forward them to your voicemail, or it'll automatically forward them to your email. You just, as the other lady was saying, you just have to take the time or hire someone, because you say you don't have the time, to get these things set up. And I did I've been in business 4 years. I did one like every year. So I did Instagram first, then I transitioned. I built a page for Facebook later and connected the two. And then I did my TikTok last year. I did my Twitter this year. And every time I set up one, I connected them. So I literally go to my Instagram and I post on my Instagram, and then at the bottom of my post, it asks me who would I like to send it to. I select them all, and my one post goes to all my sites all at once, and I don't have to manage the other ones. And they have, like I said, automatic messages that can forward it. So it can be easy. It just takes time, step by step. Don't do it all in once.
Right.
No,
and then I'm sorry, Latonya.
I spend enough time to build my social media presence. It's not, but I don't, it takes away. I mean, I know the importance of marketing. It's just that I don't have time. Everybody doesn't have time to do that. And
right, and it can become overwhelming if you have to check multiple locations.
Yeah, and then I would rather hire someone, and I just wanted to raise the point of that, because honestly, a lot of what I did learn about marketing and social media management was from someone that I had hired at one point. So yeah.
And then here's the other thing too, Latonya, is you said even if you had someone doing it, you still don't want a lot of people contacting you, then maybe there's a way to market that to your advantage. So for me,
when a lot of people contacting me, I don't want it to be too many outlets. The shit is crazy trying to get a message from 4, even 2 different places.
Okay. So I misunderstood, because what I was going to say is that sometimes you can market yourself as kind of like a specialty or boutique type business where, you know, that helps to sell your product. You can't find my banana pudding everywhere because it's so exclusive. It's so, you know, so there's different ways to make all of that work to your favor. Nakia had her hand up also.
And I was going to say, like, you can set up a Google Drive with all of your information in there, and then you can hire someone off of Indeed or Fiverr, and they'll have all the information that they need, all your photos and different things of that nature, so that they can create these pages and different things for you, and so that you're not having to do it all.
Okay, so those were the ones that I know that are free, that have, you know, pretty decent reach. I don't know if anyone has any other ones that they'd like to suggest, but if everyone could, you know, at least set up an Instagram page if you don't currently have one, because then the other thing that'll happen when we start heavily promoting the market, then what we can do is we can share the post, and then you can repost the post to your page. The other thing that I was doing for the Leimert Park Village vendors for the Sunday market is on Saturday evening, I would go through and look for everyone's page and then repost it on our page to promote them, because we have like 13,000 followers. So I try to use that to leverage each individual business, because even if you only have 500 followers on your page, if we share it to the Leimert Park page that has 12,000, and then Nadia shares it to the Philadelphia, hey, I'm going to be at the Women Night Market with All Chill and Holy Mother Vegan, then now you've accessed all of the followers on our page, all of the followers on her page, and then if you tag her, now she has access to the followers on your page. So that's how we build, how we help build everyone to have access to the most number of people to encourage them to come into the market. Does anyone have any questions on that? And does everyone have an Instagram page?
Yes, I have one.
So if everyone could just put their Instagram name in the chat, then other people can take note of it, and then we can all start following each other.
I'm not allowed to write in the chat anymore. I'm not sure why.
Jen, I have another program that I use called Planoly. It does cost about $14 a month, but it does allow you to set up your social media interactions ahead of time. So like we have something scheduled for every Monday that we do like a Hey Happy Monday, but you can pre-scan you can pre-set up the whole month ahead going forward. So if you don't have time, you can set up the month and schedule it to post itself. And it's called Planoly.
Okay, I'm sorry, who said that? I can't see who's speaking.
Oh, sorry, Shaka from Dipley Donuts.
Okay, so let me ask this question, Shaka, because we tried Planoly, I think I'm saying it right, but once we started using that, we started getting a lot of bots making comments on our page. Have you seen an increase in the number of bots on your page?
No, I have not. And also there is a way that I think there's a way that you can purchase an upgrade through Planoly in order for that not to happen. When we first started with my original business, we did see a lot, and we actually complained directly to Planoly, and that's when they showed us the other step that we can use to stop the bots.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So does anyone have any other questions about anything that we've covered today? Thank you everyone for jumping in and adding to the information and bringing additional information to the table for us. Does anyone have any questions, comments?
Yeah, I actually have a random question. It was in the chat. Is there a permit that you need to vend at a park, or do you just pop up and hope you don't get caught?
So since we're talking about specifically food vendors, there is not a let me say it this way, there is not a permit for individual pop-up vendors to pop up in a park. So that was the whole thing, that SB 972, the Senate bill that just passed, that is supposed to take care of, that's supposed to allow the creation of permits for individual pop-up vendors. Now, here's the thing, is that if 4 or more food vendors want to get together and apply for a community event permit, then you can get together, you go to the health department, you apply for a community event permit, which costs $376. And then you can have each vendor who's participating get a temporary food facility permit, which costs $184 for prepare on site. And I think it's $116 right now for prepackaged vendors. So does that answer your question?
Yes, that's definitely enough information. It got the wheels rolling. Thank you.
Okay, so then as we go through this class, I'm always going to try to share whatever resources I have, both from the organizer standpoint and from, you know, the health department, marketing, all of those, because eventually the hope is that we can get groups of food vendors to work together and create their own events until SB 972 gets the actual permit that will be available for pop-up food vendors. Because even though, excuse me, it passed the Senate and it passed the Assembly, now it has to get signed by the governor. Once it's signed by the governor, it might not have a start date until the beginning of next year. So it's always a process before it actually hits the ground and benefits us. So in the interim, we want to find ways to make it safe for food vendors to vend, because what's happening right now is food vendors are getting a lot of pushback in areas where nobody ever bothered food vendors. Now, we don't know if it's new retailers coming in, new mall owners, new neighbors, new whatever the case may be, but people, excuse me, people are now specifically calling the health department on food vendors. So we need to find some alternative ways to ensure that you guys have a way to set up and vend. Does that make sense?
Hi, I have one more question. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
As far as like the advertising for your business, are there any requirements like that, like as far as banners, stickers, labels, menus? Do you need any of that to pop up at the park?
As far as in Leimert Park, it's a little bit hard to hear you, so I didn't hear the first part of your question. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I was just asking, do you need any like advertisement for your business, like as far as like labels, stickers, banners, besides what the health inspectors require? Any other things like for your business, like a title, menus? Is that what's thing? I know it's suggested, but as for a first timer.
For a first timer, well, I mean, and the other food vendors can jump in, but generally, if you have your canopy, you have your table, generally people have 2 chairs, you have your tarp, you have your banners, your menu items in a format where your customers can see them. So some people, you know, have one of the sandwich boards where they write the menu with chalk. Other people have printed out their menu and take it to Staples or Kinko's and get it laminated, and then they you know, tape it or Velcro it to the leg of their canopy. If you're taking any kind of like Cash App or Venmo, any point of sale, it's recommended that you have a QR code and you print the QR code and have that available for people to scan. That helps your line to move quickly, so you're not looking for change and, you know, dealing with cash and things like that. Nadia has her hand up. She has a suggestion.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to do like a quick banner, you can go on staples.com, and if you do it by 2 p.m. the day, like say for instance tomorrow or today even, if you do it by 2 p.m. then you can pick it up the same day. So they have different things. You just have to go on their website and create the banner, put your logo in, and then whatever pertinent information you want to put in there. And then also a great website that Nakia has shared with me. It's called someone else?
No, you said it's called what's the website?
It's called
Banners on the Cheap.
Banners on the Cheap. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Yeah, Banners on the Cheap. Everybody that has seen I did Jean's banner and my banner, and everybody loved it. So thank you again, Nakia. I really appreciate that, because everybody is loving the banners. And Banners on the Cheap always have 40, that's the lowest I've ever seen, 40%, but they always have 55% off their banners, and they're not that expensive. So if you want the mesh banners or the banners that retract, the retractable banners, yeah, so that's a place to go.
And then for your banners, so the banner requirements for a farmer's market are different than the banner requirements for just a regular community event. At a farmer's market, the vendor is required to have the city, the state, and their phone number on their banner. Even though it's not required for the event that we're doing, I personally, and you guys can weigh in on this, I personally think that on your banner, you should at least have your phone number, maybe your website address, and your at least one social media handle. Because, and my thought process is, you know, maybe I want to get Jamaican food, but I didn't see your booth until I already ordered my barbecue from the people, you know, down the way. But if you have your banner with your contact information on it, then I can take a picture of it really quick, and then I can start to follow you on Instagram, and I know where to find you next time. So a lot of times we'll see banners that don't have contact information on it. It'll just have the business name. Well, what happens if we want to support you later on, or we want to order something online? So I don't know. Marcel, do you have your hand up? Oh, no. Okay. So
I was gonna say one more thing. I was gonna say that you're right when it comes to the your information on the banner, because I've gotten so many doing pop-ups or whatever, and a lot of customers have took pictures of my product and tagged me in it or whatever, and they got it off my banner. So yeah, that's a good thing to have your contact information on the banner.
Okay, Latonya.
This isn't about what we're talking about now, but as far as setting up, I had a question. If you set up in front of a brick and mortar and they give like a, I guess, allowance for you to be like, I guess, in their space, does that protect you in any way?
Not really, because even if a brick and mortar restaurant wanted to set up on the sidewalk for the day, they still have to get permits. The only way that so you'd still have to get, you know, the required health permits, and it doesn't stop the health department from giving you a hard time. The only aspect where it helps you is we've had situations where people who own brick and mortar stores, they don't want pop-up vendors anywhere around them. So the rule is that you have to be like 20 feet away from the front of the store. Depending on how the sidewalk is set up, that might not be possible. And it's created some conflict where stores have called the police on, you know, people for being set up too close to their brick and mortar. But to answer your question about the health permits, no, it doesn't offer any additional protection, because the you know, the health, you still need the health department permits.
Okay.
Okay. And then do we have any other questions? We're right at 1 o'clock. I don't mind staying on, but I want to be respectful of anyone's time if they have other things to do, or if they need to end here.
If I can just make a quick comment. Again, my name is Joy. I'm with the Joy of Funnel Cakes. I'm just now getting serious with this whole funnel cake thing. So I'm actually deciding to quit my job. So if anyone have any type of resources, any vending opportunities, please send them to me. I will be going gun hold until we can get that truck. So I just wanted to say that I'm on Instagram 24/7 and I'm constantly checking. So I just wanted to say.
Do y'all think that we should start like a chat on Instagram? I mean, it seems like across the board, most of us are on Instagram, because I'm in another group where people always, other vendors in Long Beach are always sending vending opportunities to there.
Yes,
that would be dope. That would be dope.
That would be great. Yes, a dedicated when you say a chat, like a dedicated chat under someone's page, or how do you recommend we set it up?
A group chat. If I mean anyone else or me. Okay, if anyone if whoever sends me their Instagram, I can start the chat.
Okay. And can you tell everyone I'm sure you put it in the chat, but can you tell everyone your Instagram name?
At Filthy Rich Banana Pudding. Yeah, well, I put it in the chat.
Yeah, I agree. A chat is a good idea. When I've vended in the past, and I've gone to like semi-large or like medium-sized events, the curator will definitely create a chat. It's a great way to everybody be like, I'm on my way. You know, we're running into some issues. We have not facilitators, but inspectors out here. Any type of communication is all in the chat. Everybody gets the information all at once. But especially for Wednesday night, chats are a really good idea. That a chat on Instagram is a really good idea.
Okay, thank you for offering that suggestion. So this call is recorded. It takes a while for it to download to my computer or whatever it does. So I'll send the link out to everyone in case you want to rewatch parts of it. And because it's recorded, it will also let me download the transcript from the chat. So and please let me know now, if everyone is interested, then I can email them a copy of the transcript from the chat, and that has everyone's contact information in there for those people who did put their contact into the chat. So would everyone like a copy of the transcript from the chat? Okay.
Yes.
Sure. Yes, from the chat. Yes.
Okay. And so the last thing is that tomorrow, you know, we set up, we start, I'll be there a little bit before 6 o'clock. We're asking everyone to show up between like 6 and 7. We're promoting that the market opens, you know, to the public at 7. Last week, even though we didn't have any advertising and we only had the 3 vendors, there was still a lot of traffic coming through there. People were driving through saying, hey, you know, what's going on? Are you guys going to be here tomorrow? When are you coming back? So I think we'll, you know, have people coming through. I think it'll be a good starting point. And then we're creating a graphic to advertise the market. So we'll send that out to everyone before the end of the day. And then you can post it and share it, you know, where you like. The other thing that we're doing to market the market long-term in general, yesterday we talked to the people who do the light pole banners. So we're looking into getting light pole banners. That's not an immediate thing. The soonest that they could get those up for us would be October. But we've asked them to put the light pole banners along Crenshaw, along Degnan, 43rd Place. And you get like, for the package, you get like 15. So they're going to give us different suggestions on where to put the other banners. But that way, when people are driving up and down the street, they're going to start seeing, hey, there's a Wednesday night market in Lemert. We started with the advertising through social media. So that's the one thing with Instagram and Facebook. When you request an ad, they say that we have to review it before we can start boosting it. So our first one, they should start boosting, I believe, by tomorrow, because we submitted it the day before yesterday, or maybe yesterday. We will be doing postcards. Well, ideally, what I'd like to do is to do what's called Every Door Direct, where a postcard goes into every mailbox within the surrounding community. That's one thing for me personally with Leimert Park. I've always wondered why people who live in the apartments and who live in the houses directly around the village, it doesn't seem that they come into the village and support, even on things like people get in their car and drive to Starbucks or some other coffee place instead of going to Hot and Cool and Haroon that's right there. So we want to, you know, encourage people to start coming into the village on Wednesday evenings. So those are the big 3 marketing things that we're working on. But again, it takes time to get those implemented. But if anyone has any other suggestions, things they think might be more immediate, then please reach out and let us know. I see Chef Witt's hand up. Is that from before, or do you have a new?
Oh, I thought I unmuted myself. My bad. I was saying, yeah, my only thing I was asking is, can you just send me maybe in a DM or an email, just all the vendors that'll be there tomorrow, because I am going to post something in the morning and I want to tag everyone. So if you can like tell me like what they're, because I see everyone's name on the chat, but everyone's business isn't there. And then when my phone died, I lost the group chat. So I can't see everyone's Instagram anymore, just so I can include them when I do my post tomorrow.
Absolutely. And thank you for mentioning that. We sent out a link for everyone to complete, which has your business name. There is also a place for you to upload your logo so we can start promoting you. We only got maybe 4 or 5 of those back. So did everyone receive the link? You didn't receive it, Joy?
I didn't see that, but
No,
I'll check.
I haven't received it. Sorry.
Okay, so everything that we do, if you go to blackwomenvend.com, all the links are right there. So, and there are a couple of people who said they couldn't get into the Zoom call today. So on the first page of the website, there's always the link. It says registration link. That's the link where you can put in your business name and put in your upload your logo and a couple of pictures that we can promote for you. And then underneath that is always the link for the Zoom call for the week. It's a different link every week because since we have you register, that's kind of our way of keeping taking roll, keeping track. And it's really important for us to do that because, again, we're going to the city and the county to get funding to support your businesses. So when they come back and they say, okay, well, you know, how much money are you asking for? What do you want? We want to have as many women vendors as possible on those lists so that we can get you guys grant funding. It was suggested that one of the perks of being in this class is once you finish, we give you like a pop-up kit where you have your sidewalls, you have a tarp, maybe, you know, what do you call it? A credit to get a banner printed at one of the participating banner companies. So there's all these different benefits that we're trying to get for you. But in order for us to do that, we need everyone to register for the calls and we need as many people as possible to show up. So right now we have 15 people. Ideally, we'd like to have 20 to 25 people participate in this cohort. If you know any other women food vendors who'd like to participate, please have them sign up. And then Latonya, you have your hand up. Is that from last time or do you have a new comment or question?
That was from last time.
Okay. So then I think this is a good place to end. I'm going to leave the call up just for a few minutes in case anybody wants to put anything else into the chat. And then once the recording does all of its processing and things like that, I'll send everybody a link to the chat. And then I will also send everybody a link to the video. And then I'll send everybody a link to the chat transcript so you can have everyone's information in one place.
I really just want to appreciate you and I mean everybody on here who is participating and sharing what information they have. And the lady Marcel, I can remember meeting her and just her being like uber helpful, like, and just like I always say, like, tell people like I'm helpful in a weird kind of way, and she was helpful to where it was like it's almost uncomfortable sometimes, and I just appreciate that because a lot of times as Black women we don't have that between one another, and I appreciate it. Each of you, for real, for real.
Thank you.
I look forward to meeting you guys. They're the ones that I don't know tomorrow. Super excited.
I'm trying to do the registration. It's asking me for a business tag, a BTRC number and a seller's permit number. All of that is underway. I did it through InkFile, so I'm waiting on it right now, but there's no way to upload anything or do anything past that. So how else can I send you my information?
So for the purposes of that, if you don't know your numbers, just put in like 1, 2, 3, we'll send later. and it'll let you go through there. But if you just put in some numbers and put a note, then I'll know that you're going to send it later. If you don't have those things and you need help getting those things, then please let us know, because we can get you matched with a business coach at Vermont Slauson, and they will help you do those things for free. And free is like a really important word, because a lot of us as small businesses, we don't have a lot of capital to work with. And I've heard people say they've paid LegalZoom like $1,000 to help get these things done. Please let other people know you don't have to pay $1,000 to get this paperwork done. Call us. We will match you with a business coach at Vermont Slauson. They will help you get your BTRC, your seller's permit. They can help you start your website. They gave grants for people to get the $291 street vending permit for people who don't sell food. So there's a lot of resources in the community. We just have to share them, and don't give LegalZoom your money.
Basically. And what was the number for that? I need to call tomorrow.
For Vermont Slauson?
Yes.
You can register on their website. That's the best way to do it. And the website address is V as in Victor, S as in Sam, E as in Edward, D as in David, C as in cat.org.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And China, you have a hand up?
Oh, no, sorry. I was just going to ask for that information as well, just to get everything done.
Okay. I will put that in the chat, and
Hold on one second.
everyone will.
Quick question for tomorrow. What time are we? Is load in? Is it still 6 o'clock?
Yes, 6 o'clock.
Thank you.
And then for the food trucks, I believe we have Holy Mother Vegan, and then Voodoo. Are you going to be there tomorrow as well?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there.
Okay. It would be great. I don't know if you all know other food trucks, but it would be great to have 1 or 2 more food trucks. So if anyone can recommend someone, I would be really grateful. And then I just put the Vermont Slauson registration page in the chat. Okay.
And just to be clear, you will send an email out tomorrow to give us the information of where to show up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Alrighty, that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my camera off and mute the mic, but I'm gonna leave the call up in case people are copying things out of the chat. But as I keep saying, I'll send a transcript of the chat to everyone. So if you're not able to copy everything down, don't worry, you'll get a complete transcript. And then thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate the support for doing the class.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Quick question.
Thank
Quick
you.
question.
Yeah.
Yes.
For everyone who's doing a pop-up tomorrow, who has what color are your tents? Except for, I know Filthy Rich, who has a signature booth. Does everyone have a white tent canopy?
Black.
I have a white tent with black netting walls.
Okay, so who else had, because I think I was telling Jennifer earlier, I think it would be nice if we all had white tents, because I think it would show more under the light. So for who doesn't have a white tent, I can loan you a tent for the evening. So who that, Yolanda, you don't have a canopy? Okay, so that's one person, Jen. Who else is doing pop-up who doesn't have a white canopy?
I already committed a white canopy to someone Asia recommended who doesn't have a canopy. So
we still have,
yeah,
so Yvonne can have one. I have one. So we still have 2 more.
2 more. Okay.
Still have 2 more.
And then the other thing is it's a night market. If you have lights, so there's a lot of light on the street, But what we noticed last week is that inside the booth was dark. So if you have lights to bring for inside of your booth, then please bring them. And then just from aesthetics, look standpoint, if you have the string lights to go around the outside of your tent, that's also a nice look, and it helps to draw people in as they're driving by on Crenshaw and Vernon.
I have a quick question. I do notice that we have a lot of vegan vendors, and just so that I'm in the mix, I do have ice cream on my funnel cake and things like that. What makes something vegan? So I can also cater to their crowd, if that makes sense.
No animal products. No
Okay, I'll look at
cream, eggs, honey, all the stuff that comes from animals.
Okay.
So Miss Special Joy, I would say this. We have quite a few vegan vendors here, and I think that you are special in what you're doing. You don't have to be vegan, and I say it's because there are people who just sometimes like to eat vegan products, not necessarily being vegan themselves, but sometimes they just want to. So you will have yourself, your customer, and people coming through to try something that is different than you. You're special in what you're doing. So I wouldn't change that. We have Nadia, who is vegan. We have Semret, if she does come, is vegan. Of course, Voodoo, vegan. We have Holy Mother vegan, and then we also have Nikia. So that's a lot of vegan, and some of them do carry, I would say, vegan desserts. For you, you'd probably be the only non-vegan people. And like for me, my friends on here know once they say vegan to a dessert, I'm like, ugh, no, give me something with like, yeah, that would be me, sweetie. So I want your funnel cake. So thank you, please. I'm good. Thank you.
I would say having both. We have vegan and non-vegan options. We have people who are like, nope, give me all their fat and animal milk, and so and they're just sometimes. We also have people who like vegan ice cream because they have a dairy intolerance. But we serve them with butter cookies, and we ask, the cookie has butter, would you like it? And they're like, yep. They just don't want to, like, how people are vegetarian is a sliding scale. So just, I would agree with Marcel and say, do what you do, and in the best way that you do that. And people will find you.
Yes, ma'am.
They will seek you out, because one thing that we learned is, like, the Sunday market, there's close to 100 vendors. The majority of the food vendors were vegan food vendors, and people would ask every Sunday, when are you guys going to get something other than vegan? So it's a mix. So I don't know if she's still on the call, but we have Yolanda, she does soul food. We have Marcel, who does Jamaican food. I don't know. I think there's one other vendor that may do like Southern food or soul food. So having a good mix is always important to make the market work, because yes, veganism is a big thing in Leimert Park, but there are some people who, still want meat, who still want, so we basically do everything in Leimert except pork. Lonnie said she does.
Okay, so as I put something in the group chat. I don't know if it was seen or if you can see it or not, but I would say that there can never be enough vegan options. Yes, I am very vegan and I'm very vocal about it, and it's about inclusion. And I'm not saying that anyone should change their menu, but if you're open and interested to making things that you are already carrying on your menu vegan, I'll definitely, if you can put your Instagram in the group chat, I'll definitely hit you up. But I know like 2 or 3 people who do like vegan desserts and funnel cakes, and like you wouldn't even know. So I don't know what goes in funnel cake besides maybe dough or batter or something. But a lot of the times they just change that by using like coconut milk or something instead of regular milk. So tap in with me if that's something you're interested in doing.
Okay. All right, ladies, thank you so much. Happy Tuesday. I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow. I believe everyone has my phone number. Please always feel free to reach out if you have any questions. The phone number is 213-277-8880. I'll put it in the chat so that it's on the chat transcript. And let's do this. Let's do it.
Yay.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Excited, excited, excited.
Okay. All right. See everyone tomorrow.
All right.
Bye.
Have a great day, ladies. Bye. Thank you.